they've frozen immigration pathway for it. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to the 30 Days Immigration Question and Answer series. My name is Wolo. I am a regulated Canadian immigration consultant based in New Brunswick, Canada. And I started this series on the 2nd of December, and I was just churning out answers to questions, immigration questions, since 2nd of December until yesterday that I took a break, which was Christmas Day. And I have resumed today. I just have a few more days to the end of the year to continue answering your questions. And thank you so much for all of you who have sent questions, especially those who have put your questions on the comment section of the YouTube videos, and those who have sent your questions through emails. I'll be going through them bit by bit. So I won't waste too much of your time. Let me just go straight to the question and then I will answer the question. I just watched your YouTube video on the above subject and I'm interested in getting to know more. She actually sent an email based on the 2 new immigration pathways that I did a video on, which is the rural community immigration class and the French community immigration class. So the question is, I'm interested in getting to know more about it, and if I stand any chance. I'm 57 and recently threw in the towel. I opted for early exit after working in an executive assistant and records manager for 30 years in a government parastatal in Nigeria. So that's the question. That's the first question. The new immigration pathways, everybody is eligible. The only requirement or the major requirement is actually a job offer. So despite your age, right? If you're 55, if you're 56, if you're 57, if you know that you are still very active, because I know there are people who are of certain age brackets and they are still very, very much active. I mean, there's no barrier to working despite your age. If you are very active, you can still work, you can still put in the work, then I would say go ahead and start searching for jobs. But they've not announced the communities yet. If they announce the communities and there are job opportunities that you feel you can do, you can work as despite your age, go ahead and apply for those jobs. Of course, you would still have to evaluate your credentials and write the language exams, because it's also a requirement to apply for permanent residence. So yes, 57 can still immigrate. Then there's another option for this age bracket as well, which is, I mean, the child caregiver pathway. I feel that for people who are of this age bracket, they can comfortably take care of children very well, except that, you know, children have lots of energy. But I mean, for this age bracket, they've retired, they can take care of children very well. Their focus will be on, you know, taking care of children very well, compared to young people who would have other interests, like they want to do certain things for themselves. But this group of people who have done, I mean, they've lived their life, they can actually become nannies. So if you don't mind becoming a child caregiver or becoming a nanny, I would say you should also look for jobs that can also bring you under the child caregiver pathway. That's my best advice. Okay, so I'll move on to the next question. Hello, I won't mention her name, a registered nurse from India, now seeking a starting career in Canada as a caregiver or PSW. Could you help me to give more information? Okay, so if you are a registered nurse, I don't know whether I promised I was going to do a video on registered nurses. I'm owing so much videos. I know I'm owing one video for early childhood educators and teachers. I know I'm owing that one. Nurses, I think I should do one comprehensive video that can address the issue of nurses getting jobs and where they should be looking out for immigration. But I'll just summarize one option that I can recommend. So as a registered nurse, you can actually apply to Morden. Morden is a community in Manitoba, and they currently are looking for registered nurses, but you must meet a certain requirement. That's for your language score must meet a certain requirement for you to apply. If your language score does not meet that requirement, that means you cannot apply to the Morden community immigration pathway. And that pathway is one of the pathways that does not require a family member support in Manitoba. For the skilled worker overseas in Manitoba, you would need a family member to support your application. But Morden is one of the communities that does not need a family member to support your application. They will also have Winkler Stanley that does not require you to have a family member to support your application. Then there's a new one that they just announced November 15th, which I'm going to create a video for separately. I'll do that in the new year. Currently, they've closed intake. People are not smiling. They've closed intake for that new one. I won't mention it here, but I would create a video about it when I notice that they've opened the intake again. Okay, so As a registered nurse, you have opportunity also in Nova Scotia. I put an information on my community tab and put a link there. Please watch the community tab. You will see the link for Nova Scotia. Go ahead and apply, because Nova Scotia is doing international recruitment. And then for modern, if you want to come as a permanent resident, just go there and apply. But you must meet the language requirement. Okay, so that's it. Then the third question. I'm currently in my second year of studies here in Quebec. I came across one of your videos titled Latest Canada Immigration, and I was impressed by your expertise and the clarity of your explanation. As an international student, I am eager to learn more about the pathways available for obtaining permanent residency in Canada, particularly options suited to my current status as a student in Quebec. I would greatly appreciate any guidance or advice you could offer on programs or steps I should be considering at this stage. Okay, so Quebec, for those of us in Canada, we know Quebec is like a nation in Canada. It's like they are operating their own country inside Canada. We know, we know, and they have their own immigration. So when the rest of Canada, we are following one direction, Quebec has its own. Like, there is a lot of difference between Quebec and Canada, which also happens in immigration. And unfortunately, I am not licensed to give advice for Quebec, because for my license covers the rest of Canada, right? My license does not cover Quebec. For me to give advice for Quebec, I have to get a license from Quebec. It's just like that. Like, I have to get another consultancy license for Quebec. But this is the suggestion I can give. If you can move from Quebec to the other parts of Canada, let's say secure admission for the other parts of Canada, because currently Quebec has announced that, I mean, they are not going to give more than 50,000 people permanent residency status next year. They've frozen immigration pathway for international students. They've frozen immigration pathway for workers. They've like frozen a lot of immigration pathways. So the best advice I can give is move from Quebec to the other parts of Canada. If you've done your first semester in Quebec, try to secure admission for your second semester in the other parts of Canada and move to the other parts of Canada where you have a lot of immigration options, PR options to become permanent resident. Because if you remain in Quebec, that means you have to get your PR via Quebec. And if you don't meet the requirement of getting a PR in Quebec, it means you have to return back to your home country. And if you don't want to return back to your home country, the best advice I can give, like I said again, is to move out of Quebec to the other parts of Canada. Choose any province in the Atlantic province and complete your education in the other parts of Canada so that you can be eligible to apply for permanent residence after you must have gained your postgraduate work permit, or during the process of postgraduate work permit, you can apply for your PR. So this is the best advice I can give. Like I said, I'm not licensed to give advice for Quebec, but I mean, the one that has you moving out of Quebec is what I can give to you. So, my people, I think this is where I would end this video, and I'll keep answering your questions. I'll try to go through all the videos and see questions I've not answered. I believe I should have answered a lot, plus my emails. I'll go through all of them and answer them. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in my next video. Bye-bye.
We will just be the glowing light. We will see the rise. Oh Canada, oh Canada, oh